Yozo bhagava arahang samma sambuddho svakato yena bhagavata dhammo supatipanno yasa bhagavato savaka sangho Dhamayang bhagavantang sadhammang sasanghang Imehi sagarehi yatarahang aropetehi abepujayama Sadhuno bande bhagava sujiraparini buddhopi Vajimājananānugambamanasa Ime sankhare dukatapanna karahunte katigantatu Amhāṅ dikaratāṅ hitaya sukhaya Arahang samma sambuddho bhagava Buddhaṃ bhagavanthaṃ abhivādi. Svakado bhagavata dhammo Dhammang namassāmi. Supatipanno bhagavato sāvaka sangho sanghang namāmi. Namayam buddhasa bhagavato apupapākanamakarang romase. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Okay, let's take some time for getting to the heart of the matter, the heart of the present moment. Everything we do should come from the heart of the present moment, and that's really what matters to you now. And it's a deep question. It's a deep question. Because we're sensitive creatures, and we're constantly flooded with many things that claim to matter. The calendar matters, the appointments diary matters, the to-do list matters. Yeah. The headlines in the newspaper matters. Yeah. What other people said to me yesterday matters. What I'm worrying about matters. Actually, in one sense, none of these really matter. They tell us something about how vulnerable we are, how effective we are. That matters. how much stuff we have to deal with, that matters. How emotionally susceptible we are, that matters. How much we seem to be in a world that's overwhelming and which we have little say over, that matters. Yeah. And it matters that we should find a way to be clear, stable, unhurried, and purposeful in what we're doing, not just thrashing around, reacting and defending ourselves and getting compulsive and trying to deal with this flood. And as human beings, we have a very precious resource, chitta, heart, the heart of the matter, the heart of our incarnation. You know, what came when we came into these physical forms, which we take for granted. And yet, themselves quite fragile and miraculous that they continue at all. So to find that core stability, we've got to just step back from all the sensory input and even the thinking input, which is now huge because we live in such a media flooded experience. We've got to step back from that, not to close it down, but to manage it, our particular piece in that, clearly and with a sense of purpose. And me getting upset and worried and agitated is not going to help anyone. So, and the beauty of the heart is that when we really stabilize and steady that, it tells us exactly what to do now. It's a truth system. It's a love system. It speaks the truth of love, and it speaks the truth of presence. And maybe we need to spend some time reflecting on such terms and presence. Presence. How do you know you're present? Presence is not in time. It's not tomorrow. It's not the next moment. It's not in time, and yet it's always there. Presence. How do you know that? How do you know it's not just an idea in your head, just the Buddhist slogan? Because presence carries the quality of embodiment in it. And when we are dwelling in our thoughts, it's like we're racing through empty space. When we refer to our bodily embodied experience, it's like we're swimming or floating in water. We're in something that resonates and holds us. That's the difference, a shift of energy. You know where you are. So let's take a few moments, maybe 15 minutes or so. Just we're sharing our time together. Find your way to most clearly and comfortably feel stabilized. You may be sitting, you may be standing, you may even be reclining. And feel the weight of your body being carried by the floor, the ground, the mat, whatever you're on. Just feel what weight feels like when it's being carried. And try to not carry it yourself. Do you see what I mean? Don't hold yourself up. See if you can sit or stand in a way whereby the ground or the floor, the mat, whatever you're on, chair, holds you. Relax your shoulders, relax your face, relax your eyes. They can't hold you. They can't hold you up. Take a long out breath. Enjoy a long out breath. Enjoy the releasing quality of the out breath. Don't be in a hurry to breathe in. Let the body decide when to breathe in and how to breathe in. Get to enjoy listening, adjusting your awareness to the speed and rhythm of the breathing body. When you're breathing out, let your awareness follow that trail with it. As if you extend your awareness down to the most grounded extremities of your body, your feet, your legs, base of your spine. Just let it, it's almost as if you let the envelope of your body slide down. And right down in the base of your body on your out breath. Loosen, let your sense of your body loosen. As if the energy, the vitality of your body, the energy envelope of your body loosens, particularly around your face and head, draining down. Right. Sit at the base of your spine. Connecting to the ground. When inhalation comes, when the inhalation comes in, welcome it rather like you welcome a guest. And let that inhalation find your body as if it's moving up, exploring your body from the inside. Oh, this is what the chest is like inside. This is what the shoulders are like. This is what the throat is like. This is what the face is like inside. Bring it under your skin. The energy of your body energy reforms itself from being agitated or constricted till it becomes a comfortable wrapping. Breathing out and breathing in. And when you meet any irregularities in that energy, in that breath energy, in that embodied energy, say it's jumpy or stuck or fluttering, just slightly shift to awareness of it. So obviously you're aware of your energy, your body, your breathing. What you're aware of feels slightly disturbed, not ready, hesitant. And just widen a little bit, widen your focus a little bit to include, I'm aware of this. I don't put any pressure on this. I respect this. I listen to this. I'm not trying to change it. And see what comes up. See how things move on. Sometimes there's a shift in terms of your moods, your mind state or your heart state. Sometimes things relax, sometimes things shift in strange ways, but you move to awareness. And you're still staying within that territory, which is your fundamental territory, your home ground, your intimate environment. Above all, this is what matters. And this is the record, everything that counts. everything that hurts, everything that rejoices, strengths and the problems. And this is where we really learn how to respond. This is where love, honesty, truth, how it actually is, not how it should be, presence and love, acceptance, kindness, non-conflict. This is where these fundamental truths are felt and known. This is where important check-in points in your day, in your life. And this place you can gently float certain questions. And these are questions that don't actually require an answer. They're just asking you to listen to what happens, feel what happens. And maybe sometimes you get a mood shift, or sometimes you get a few ideas, you get a picture, you get a sense, you get but something actually begins to get an orientation just by asking yourself, because now you're relating to your intimate environment rather than the whirling stuff around you. Yeah, very important to talk to yourself, to talk to that. And it may not answer you now, but you'll know, and it'll give you, it'll remind you. It'll say, don't do that now. No, not ready yet. Or don't hold back. Your first question, if you like, please don't bother if you don't feel right, is what do I want to be now? Feeling this, what do I want to be? How do I want to be? How do I want to be? How do I want that energy body? That envelope with which my body, my moods, my emotions rest in this envelope of energy, which I've been gently massaging. What shape do I want that? What would be good now? What would be beautiful now? Just as you're talking to it, maybe just breathing. What do I not want to be? That's always been easier for me. Pressurized, no pressure. Yeah. No weight. No spinning around. And it might be possible then to, as you coming out of meditation or lifting out of this territory, what do I want to do? What would I like to do? Before the to-do list jumps in, what kind of energy, what kind of general mood or attitude would you like to lead with in what you're going to be doing? Not, am I going to do, feed the cat or go shopping or write an email, but just what particular impulse energy to follow? Yeah. Goodwill, resolve, resilience, resolve, patience. I don't know. What can you lead into your next moment with? This is your opportunity to determine the rest of your life for the next moment. It will change. And if nothing comes up, you might think, I don't want to keep asking these silly questions. That's fine too. Just clearing space.
Dhamma Loka Dipati Sahampati Tan Chandihiyam Kivaram Ayachata Santi Dasahata Haraja Kajatika Jese to Dhamma Anikam Iman Bhajan.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. There are certain misperceptions that we can derive from meditation practice, at least the outward form of it. Because when we go into these forms of meditation, it's often the experience of, you go somewhere quiet, you're on your own, you're in your room or somewhere. Meditation is very much a solitary experience. We're not talking to people, we're not doing things. I am separated from, the world around me. And that's true on a sensory level in terms of physical contact and interaction on the sensory level, isn't it? Right? Looking at things, we're not touching things, we're not talking to things. So we're not interacting with anything. Not interacting with anything. But you realize actually on the most important level, there's profound level of interaction, because here you're in a very immediate one-to-one, extremely sensitive relationship with your mind, your heart, and your body. Right? You're never alone. And it's interactive. And, coming with the idea, oh, be quiet and sit still, and saying that to your mind, your body, and your heart, isn't really a very healthy way to relate. But we can still have this idea, that when we meditate, everything shuts down and shuts up, and we get into some kind of open space or something or the other, which we imagine, it's quiet, it's silent, nothing's happening. This is the good stuff. It's what I work so hard for. 23 hours a day of craziness, and I get my little 1 hour, whatever it is. And in that 1 hour, if I work really hard, I might get 3 minutes of this optimal experience. Before reluctantly I have to drop it all and go back to interaction. This isn't really a very positive kind of spiritual practice, is it? If we're kind of somehow feeling that the majority of our daily life is really a waste of time, or it's not really, it's going a different direction from what we call our spiritual practice. But actually, what does spiritual mean? And very simply speaking, it means you're with what you're with. You're with what you're with. And if you look at this, I'm going to just provide some kind of ideas, reference points. I would suggest that a lot of the time we're with what? We're with our experience of having a body, or being what a body is expressing physically, sensorially, energetically, in terms of health, age, hormones, energies, so forth. We're certainly with that. Yeah. And that doesn't go away. We're also with our own mental content, our ideas, memories, plans, so forth. We're with that. Yeah. And you might say, extend that, you're also with all the mood tones that these two carry for you. Wishing it was another way, wishing it would be more comfortable or clearer or something or the other. We're also with being living organism in a world of living organisms that all fit together or should fit together. We all breathe the same air, whether it's a toad, a leopard, or a human of any kind. We're all breathing the same air. And we're walking on this planet. with the sun, the moon, the stars, the rain, the heat, the coolness. We're with that. And we're with whatever our current human society is doing, whether it's fighting, quarreling, struggling, busy, whatever it's up to. We are inundated with all that. And so spiritual practice, you're with what you're with. Now that sounds like a lot. In a way, it is a lot, but what it all comes down to is crystallizing in your heart at any given moment. It could be, I'm with the worry, I'm with the pressure, I'm with the concerns, I'm with the anger, irritation, I'm with the joy and enthusiasm, I'm with the great idea, I'm with the fantastic thing we're about to do. So you actually at the center of that, all that emotive stuff. And that's where that covers it all, doesn't it? The idea is that, if we compartmentalize our life into, I'm just with my thinking process is all that counts, then we become, oblivious to other people. This can happen. Or just my bodily experience is all that counts. That's really very important to me. And then we're missing out on the bigger picture. And so how do all these come together? We have a sense of integrity, conscience and concern, love covers it all. And that's that simple one monosyllable, at least in English, monosyllable love. It's the love of the spirit. Love of the heart. Which doesn't mean I'm fantasizing about or romantic about or even kind of, sort of impassioned about it. It means I care for it deeply because this is what's going to unify my actions towards my thoughts, my body, other people, the world around me as it arises in my awareness. Maybe it still seems like a lot. But what arises in your awareness? Are you worried? Surely you're worried. Surely there's got to be some sense of alarm or concern somewhere. Is that wrong? Probably you feel a bit annoyed and irritated at times. Is that wrong? Perhaps you feel like something good to happen. Is that wrong? These impulses, can you be with those, aware of those, listening to those? Because if you are, in this embodied way, they begin to distill into what I'm going to do. Having felt the sense of alarm at the plight of other beings, as I feel that sense of concern and alarm, and just think about it, or get exhausted, or get annoyed by it, or worried about it, but maybe I do, but then I'm aware of that, it settles, my body energy helps to settle and resolve that. Then I get a sense of purpose. I will do this because it's true. For example, very simple example, when obviously we all have our own individual lives, but when the Buddha was presented with the truth of the human condition by this overseeing spirit called the Brahma Sahampati. The spirit Sahampati means the father or the guardian of all. says, look, to the Buddha, there are beings with a little dust in their eyes. Yeah, there are beings who will go needlessly to bad places if you don't support, if you don't help them. There are those who can hear. Just put that in there, the Buddha. This is true. Now, he didn't start running around doing all kinds of things. He just let that voice of concern settle. Right. And then, okay, I just got to do. There are those who can hear. Just gets up, just starts walking. Don't know what to say, don't know what to do, yet it will come. Notice he spent several weeks walking to where he thought he might find a receptive audience. And that time he wasn't writing the ABC of Buddhism. He was just walking, letting his body feel the walking, letting that sense of concern settle. First person he met, he said a few things that it didn't work. It was not useful. Just so he walks along, eventually gets into the deer park at Benares where his friends were staying, his old colleagues. And they said, oh, here he comes. Oh, he's the one who walked out on us. You know, he was practicing with us as an ascetic and he gave up on it. Who cares about him? And he said, listen, the deathless has been found. Listen, have you ever seen me like this before? And they said, no. Well, listen and I'll teach you. And immediately he just got up, prepared a seat for him, sat down and listened. He said, this is what you should not do. And he gave these primary teachings. And the teaching he gave, although we often call it the Four Noble Truths, began with telling him what not to do. Don't do this, don't do that. Don't follow the path of denial. Don't follow the path of indulgence. Don't get hopelessly engaged with the world in a consumer way. Also, don't reject it in a nihilistic way. Don't say, oh, the world is just an illusion, just a dream in Vishnu's mind. Who cares anyway? A kind of spiritual nihilism. Don't say, you know, that kind of negation of the world. Also, don't say, oh, it's, you know, I've got to make I've got a big plan for humanity. Get involved in indulgence to try to make the sensory world work. He says, don't do that. Follow the path. And the path is right view, right action, you know, right view, right intention, right action, right effort, right mindfulness, right livelihood, and so forth. Path to where? Well, get your intention right. Then you'll find out where. So he starts with avoiding denial, nihilism, negation. Doesn't matter, shrug it off. Who cares? And the opposite extreme. Get, have, consume, get embedded in this territory. Avoid those. Stay in the balance that's difficult to describe, except it's not those two polarities. In that balance, you're aware, you're sensitive, you're not asking for answers, results, applause, win, succeed. You're not asking for that right now. You just want to maintain balance, poise. Because with right view, you understand every thought, every inclination of my mind has a result. Every inclination of my mind, every inclination of my heart has some kind of result and comes from some kind of cause. What are the causes? The principal cause. Why am I acting? Where do my actions come from? What's the motivating influence behind my actions? Now, if we just ask ourselves deeply that, to be honest, I think probably, certainly, many of us would say most of the motivating influences of my actions, I don't even know. I just do what I'm supposed to do because it's 8 o'clock. I don't know what I'm doing. I just, because 8 o'clock, I've got to do this. You know, I did that. It's Friday, so I do this. It's, the guy came to knocked on the door, so I did this. I just popped into my in tray, so I did this. The email dropped in, so I just responded to it. We kind of like on a ricochet, bouncing off. So that's totally understandable. I do the same thing. Something in us almost seeks it. Let me get automatic. I want to know what to do at Friday morning at 8 o'clock. And I feel secure. Well, I know what day of the week it is. Then I know what time it is. I know what the program is, and I feel secure. No, that's not the way. The way is to be insecure. Insecure in a calm way. Then you say, from that place, you're no longer relating to the programs that you've adopted, that you've been inducted into, that are being pumped by the media into you every day about what you should do, what you should be, and what you're going to be, and what you've got to have, and what other people think, what you should look like, and how big you are, and all this kind of stuff. Actually, what counts is, and then this first indriya arises, faith. Have faith. Be open. And faith is a kind of love. It's a love of the spirit, saying the spirit will tell me, I trust it. The chitta will tell me, I trust it. I don't need the program. Now this may only last for 2 minutes, 5 minutes. Just that reference point. But then from that place, you go, okay, trusting there is such a thing as heart, spirit, chitta. It's very primary. It's without this, there's no point in living. We're not just robots, programmed, wind-up toys that you set on a treadmill, keep going. There is such a quality as awareness, spirit, heart. And we have to remember this is our primary, most important gift. This is what makes us truly human. Without this, we're not acting like humans should or could or are capable of. So you have to relate to that. And it's a love of spirit. I will follow you. I trust you. And then you notice what it doesn't say. It doesn't say, oh, you've got to. It doesn't say, other people need you to. Or it doesn't say, you've got to get this done on this time. It just says, go forth, rise up with a mind of goodwill, of compassion, of integrity, open to the world. See what matters now. Trust what matters to you now. It could be bring some beauty into the world. It could be just tidy up. And if you like, in that process of, almost motivating your day, so your motivation is coming from internally, from your heart, spirit, rather than externally from your to-do list, or whatever you have. You're shifting where you're coming from. You look at certain things. Certain things we might say, we feel for my welfare or for other people's welfare, or both. Which do you think is the most important? My welfare? His or her welfare? Or both? I think you probably think both. Because then I'll balance out my tendency to be too obsessive about myself, I'll also balance out the tendency to think everybody else counts, I should give myself up to everyone else. No, what works for both of us? Because then I'm encouraging balance. Your view counts, my view counts, how do they fit? Your welfare counts, my welfare counts. How do we find the balance? In fact, in this relational world, interrelatedness is a really important training in finding that balance, which is the heart of the middle way. Not I'm going to bend over backwards to accommodate you, nor am I going to ask you to bend over to accommodate me. I want to find where we can both stand up together and shake hands and say, yeah, okay, I'll give up this, I'll do that, yeah, fine. Now, I want to have that sense. At least that's what I see as optimal. I would incline towards. It might be worth negotiating towards. And then you look at other things. What's important and what's urgent? And you might think it's best to do what's urgent. No, it's not best to do what's urgent because then you're in a state of panic. It's best to do what's important. Minimize urgency, maximize importance. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're dealing with, the immediate red hot issues rather than, and you'll actually attract more. You do with what's important, not what's urgent. Because urgent is very much a way of reading things and it puts you into a frantic state. Sometimes that's the way it is, you've got to get out of the house, it's on fire. But you don't want to live your life like you're in a house on fire. You want to live your life like, you're in a vehicle that you can drive. And it's important to keep your wheels on the road, your eyes steady, your hands on the wheel, and your speed limit to what you can manage. That's important. Then you stay on the middle way, on the path. And from there, you're going to be your maximum possibilities to relate appropriately to your welfare, the welfare of others, to your own body, to your mind, to your heart, to what's around you. And this is the way that you are able to maintain your steady presence as an awakening being in this strange, most ongoing experience of the sensory world that we come into every day. So find the balance. Balance is the most difficult thing in a way because it doesn't shout, it doesn't lean, it doesn't scream, it doesn't push, it doesn't have a great surge of emotion. It's a settled place, it's a quiet place. It's the most important place because it doesn't scream about being important. It's the most important place because there's no urgency in it. Yeah. It's the most important place because there's no mission. So that's the place where you can come forth in the most unbiased, clear, aware and sensitive way, free from obstructions. Have faith in that, love that, respect that, honor that. And then when you're sitting quietly, on your own apparently, you're with others, you maintain the middle path. And this is, what the Buddha's first productive teaching was. And it's what I'd like to offer today for your reflection and consideration. So thank you.
Dhammakataya sadhu karanga dhammase sadhu 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 animodam.
Okay. Well, good to see all these little people sitting in my computer. sitting on my screen from wherever you are in wherever you are in this strange experience we call so-called reality. And lovely to spend some bit of time together reflecting. And I hope you're feeling well. And I hope these little meetings together can give you some ideas or some silences or some grounding for how you want to continue in your day. So thanks for turning up, and hope to be able to maintain these sessions on at least on a monthly basis for as much as I can, according to what life allows. So I just going to just sign off with the salutation to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Arahant Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddham Bhagavantam Abhivamiti. Vakato Bhagavatam Dhammo Dhammang Namatsami. Patipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sangham Namami.